Now, as you know, everyone has to do their bit to show that they are woker than everyone else. Everyone has to do their bit to kiss the ring, and not just kiss it, but look deep into its eyes. Show that it's a real commitment to make sure that you are fighting all of the social ills that exist around us. Cue a little show called Arthur. Now, this is a cartoon that's been around since the 1990s. It's aimed at really little kids, and they decided to throw in the message of fighting racism. This is what, little kids like my 2-year-old are supposed to be watching. Have a look.
Did you see that video?
Yeah, I just watched it. It was awful. I can't believe someone would be hurt like that, just because they're black.
Racism is so unfair. No one should ever judge someone by the color of their skin.
Even rabbits. So, you know what we should do? We should find an animal of colour to teach us white rabbits a lesson.
It happens everywhere. I was talking to Mrs. McGrady the other day. She said there's a really long history of black people not being treated fairly in this country.
It has to stop.
We have to do something.
Yeah! But what can we do? I mean, I'm 8. I can't even fry an egg on my own.
Well, Bunny, thankfully the people who make Arthur, they've got someone for you.
It is scary, Buster. But you should know that a lot of grown-ups are fighting racism and working hard to keep us all safe.
Why does this keep happening, Mrs. McGrady?
Well, racism is like a disease. If you don't treat it, it's just going to get worse.
Can we show that last grab again? I want you to pay particular attention to the bottom right-hand corner. Have a look at the little white rabbit as it dawns upon him. What? Have a look.
It is scary, Buster. But you should know that a lot of grown-ups are fighting racism and working hard to keep us all safe.
Why does this keep happening, Mrs. McGrady?
Well, racism is like a disease. If you don't treat it, it's just going to get worse.
Rita, I don't know how deep Arthur made it into your little man's life when he was a little man, but everyone must do their bit.
Not at all.
Children's show after children's show, that fair dinkum. And unsurprisingly, of course, that show is also on here in Australia.
Oh, well, of course it is. And I'm sure they were really balanced and talked about all the programs that are in place to overcome disadvantage and the fact that we actually don't have any laws in Australia or America that are racist in nature. I'm sure it went across all of that, didn't it? It didn't just scare the bejesus out of kids that they were living in an unjust world, and it was just going to be horrible for them if they're of colour. Because I think that is far more damaging for little kids who are of colour than it is for the white kids watching.
Yeah, well, as long as that white bunny got the lesson that he deserved, Mark. Now, you'd be pleased to know if anyone wants to go and watch that episode. It is, of course, available on the ABC iView app this evening. So as soon as you're done, mate, make sure you go and check out Arthur to know how you really should be living.
Well, Paul, you know, if racism is a serious problem, and in some cases it can be, is the answer a cartoon rabbit who tells us that he's so hopeless he can't fry an egg? Now, I just think this trivialises, diminishes, turns it into the theatre of the absurd, and at their core, this sort of leftist campaigning where all of life needs to be political is just laughable, isn't it? It's just sort of comical, literally comical.
Yeah.
Poor little... Was that Arthur on the bottom right-hand corner, was it?
Yeah.
Poor bastard. Is that what he said? He can't fry an egg.
Yeah.
Well, how's he going to solve racism? Hey, you're a bloody cartoon figure who can't fry an egg, but you've got little hope of solving racism. And when I was watching, I thought, what did Churchill think when he was fighting Hitler and real racism and genocide?
Yeah.
Did he think, what we need here is an army of cartoon rabbits?
Yeah, but also the little
go out
reference
there.
to
I mean,
there
it's
are
just
lots of
unthinkable,
adults
isn't
that
it?
are
It's just-
fighting racism, of course, reference to BLM and about how they're on the right side of history, despite the fact that we've already discussed, as we do every week, the Trojan horse effect and all the rest of it here.